Today we're discussing the differences between training professional and youth hockey players. We kind of have three main points that we'd like to touch on. Hey guys, Matt here from Testify Performance. I'm the director of all off-ice hockey work, and this is Brooklyn Parker. She's the director of all our youth off-ice hockey work. So our first point is the difference in primary training priority.
So for a youth athlete, we work on more position and movement qualities. An example of that is a three-way skater drill. So this is a really good exercise to work on stability and a sport-specific position.
So when we think about training a professional athlete, those positions and movement quality are still at a really high importance level, but they've likely already had a fair amount of experience with that sort of stuff. And a more kind of relevant example is we focus more on stimulus and adaptation. So identifying the type of training capacity that a professional player is maybe lacking in, and then prescribing an exercise or a drill or a modality that's going to kind of bring that adaptation up. An example of that would be a resisted sled push to really challenge that ability to produce power off one leg as quickly and as rapidly as possible. So our second training priority that we actually find a lot of commonalities between the two groups is single leg strength and stability. So with our youth athletes, we're going to kind of focus more on a lower threshold environment where they can learn these skills.
So we'd work on something like a split squat iso, which allows them to build that strength in the position without any bias from the other side.
On the professional side of the equation, again, we need to apply a higher level stimulus or a demand on the athlete. So an example would be a rear foot elevated split squat with a safety bar, where we're challenging that athlete to showcase a high amount of strength and stability on one leg and then move that really heavy load with a decent amount of speed. So the third concept is hockey specific hip musculature training. So with the skating stride, the demands that are placed on the athlete, and particularly their hips from a very young age all the way up to the professional level, are quite demanding. We ask these athletes to get into pretty extreme positions and then express pretty awkward movement patterns at a really high rate of speed, and they play a lot of hockey. So in the gym, we're really focused on trying to maintain health and stability in these populations, both the youth and the professional level, and we just kind of attack it in different ways.
So on the youth side of things, they spend a lot of time in the skating stride, and they get a lot of repetition of bringing that leg in and out of their stride. So there's a lot of stress on the hip, and we prescribe the adductor side plank to work on the stability through that.
On the professional side of the equation, again, hip health and hip stability is still going to be a focus, but as we want to continue to progress in that area, we're going to have to challenge the athlete in different ways. So a common series of exercises that we prescribe are reactive banded drills that challenge the athlete to, quote, turn on and turn off their hip muscles really quickly in a more isolated state that stresses those small stabilizers of the hip and helps to both enhance performance and improve health of the hips. So those are the three differences between training professional and youth athletes. One big difference is the difference in primary training priorities. Two is the level to which we challenge single leg strength and stability. And three is, again, the level to which we challenge or prescribe different exercises for hockey specific hip musculature training.